Hi guys, welcome back. Today we are going to be discussing the hoops concepts. In hoops concept, we are going to be discussing about the constructors. So constructor is a special type of method that can be used when we are going to be initializing the object. Basically, when we are going to be initializing the object, whenever we having a class, for that class we are going. Suppose here I am having a class animal. For this class, what I have did, I have created one object like animal a equals to new animal I have created. So whenever I'm creating the object, what here the JVM will do means JVM will create a separate memory allocation for this class. So that so whenever we are calling that class, it will invoke that class. So by defaultly, constructor will be invoked at the time of object creation. So actually, till now we have not seen that where is the constructor. But in backend, what happening in the backend means whenever we are creating any object, the JVM will create the object. It will call the constructor. So if the constructor value, if we having the constructor value, it provides the data for the object only. So we can create the object with the data. So that is known as the constructors. So what is the rules to create the constructor? Basically, there are the two rules to create the constructor. One is the constructor does not contain the constructor does not containing any return type. So why it does not containing any return type means constructor is going to be invoked at the time of object creation. That's why we don't need any object reference for that one. So so that's why constructor no need any return type. And another rule is the constructor name must be same as the class name. So whatever the class name we having, uh, it is going to with the same class name. Suppose here I having a class as animal. So whenever I'm um, creating the constructor, I can create directly like animal, or else what I can do means I can create as a public animal. So basically, whenever we are creating any method, how we are going to be creating a method public void animal, like that we are going to be create. So this is a method, this is a constructor. So what is the difference between the method and constructor? Method must have the return type. So it may be a public, it may be a string, it may be a int. So it should contain a return type. So here it containing the return type. But for constructor, we are not going to calling any return type. So another part while creating the constructor, cons- automatically it will call. Automatically it will call. Where it is going to be called? Constructor is called automatically when we are going to creating the object. When we creating the object, and it is called as a overloading method. So in the interface inheritance, we have seen we are going to be calling the method in the child class, which is I'm going to be overriding that method. So I have used a call method in the phone call. I have override that method by using the mobile call method. So I can override that method, the same method. But in constructors, what we can do, you can have a multiple constructors in a same class with different parameters. And another one is a default constructor we having. So types of constructors. Basically, there are two types of constructor. One is a default constructor. Default constructor in a class. Uh, what the JVM do? JVM will not provide any arguments. So I can create a constructor without any argument is known as a default constructor. Parameterized constructor is nothing but a constructor with parameters. A set is initialized values when we are creating the object. So we will see one by one. I'm going to creating one dummy constructor here. So I'm having two types of constructor. So what is the type of constructor? Public constructor, I can call it. So this is a default constructor without parameters. I'm going to be calling another constructor. System dot here. So I have created two constructors. So I want to call these two constructor here. Meanwhile, I will create one uh, method called as a display method. So I have created three different methods. So when I'm going to call a constructor means how I'm going to call a constructor means I'm going to be calling the constructor with the object creation. C equals to new constructor. Going to be calling another constructor with the parameter new constructor with parameter with one parameter. I want to display it. The constructor with one parameter I want to display it. So I'm going to display. So basically, if it is a method, what I am doing in method, I'm going to be calling C equals to display. But here it is a constructor. Whenever I'm whenever I'm creating the object, it is directly automatically it is going to be called that method. So I will run this one. See here, this is a default constructor. This is a constructor with one parameter. So I can call like this. So I will create another program with no parameters. I will create it and I will create a parameter with name. Parameter which I have called it. It is if see here, this is a constructor. So constructor without parameters. If I want to call a method, I have to use display. Then only I can call it here with the object reference only. I can able to call this one. Okay, this is a display method is going to be called here. Suppose here I want to create parameters with this method. Hmm, Suppose here I'm going to be creating one person class. I want to check person name and its age. So here I have created a person class. So what I want to do here, I want to declare some variables. So string name I have declared, int age I have declared. So I will going to be creating a method public. I want to create a constructor method. So what I can do, I can use public person parameters. I want to construct name, int age. So that variables I have declared here. So I want to call this methods. So what I can do, this dot, I will use this one also smally. Why? Because you will get a confusion. Or else you can use here capitals. Age. So if you want to display this one, you have to use um, method. Uh, the method should consist of return type. But here I want to call this one. In this one, how I am going to calling person equals to equals to new person. If you see it here, it is displaying the parameters. So in this parameters, I can pass it as a Sarita age, I can pass it as a some 36. I can pass it the age as a 36. If you want to pass anything, you can pass it. So this one, just I'm going to, here I have not called this one. If you see, it will print the value or not. It will not going to be printing any value. So if you want to print any value, what you have to do, you can use a display method to print the value, or else what we have did, we can directly in this one, you can in this constructor only you can make here system.out.println uh, name equals to this name. Want to give some space, which equals to plus h. If you give like this, it will print the value. See, it has print the value. I don't want to give it here. So what I can do, I can use another method called as a display method. Void display method. In this display method, I can call this one. If I want to print this one, what I have to do? Have to use a display method. Then it will print the value. If I have not used this, uh, if I have not called that method, it will not print that value. Oh, sorry, I have put in the double quotes, so that's why it has put. Sorry, here I have to call the local variable value. It has print the value. Okay. So constructor is going to be called. We can override the constructor also. If you want to override the constructor, we can override the constructor also. How we can override the constructor? Suppose here I'm having the constructor with two parameters. I can create the same constructor with single parameter also. Mm, Public person. I'm using with single parameter name. So here I want to use system.out. Here also I can use this method so that it will refer name I am using. So here I want to use name. I'm displaying here only name separately in this one. So what I can do here, the same parameter is override with a single parameters. Uh, Person equals to, sorry, one. So I can't able to write same as a p. Same object we can't able to create. So here I'm having a single one. So in single one, I want to write it name as Bob, um, as something Anita. I want to write it. So one doubt I'm getting here. Double here I have put equals to Control Shift F. It will align properly. If we why because it is moved towards left, I want to align it properly. So the same one, if I want to um, use with a p2 equals to new person, can I override this one? Same method. What I want to do is I want to override with John, age as 40. I want to override this one. Can I override this one or not? Yes, we can override. Overriding, what is mean by overriding here? Override means the same method I'm going to be changing its behavior. So for in general example, I have to do um, basically I want to write in my daily task. I have to write 50 test cases per day. But tomorrow is I have to execute 50 test cases per a day. But tomorrow is released, so we have to execute another 25 test cases. So same type of job, I'm going to be increasing my work. So again, so totally 75 test cases I'm going to be executing here. So the same method with a different parameters, I can say. What is the definition of overloading? Means a same method signature with different parameters I can use it. Okay. So here if you see this, here I have used this. So what is mean by this? So this is a keyword which is going to refer the current object instance. Current object instance. So here I have created a class. So in this class I have used here. So in the last class I have told you I'm having a, if I have used super class which is comes from the parent class. So here I'm having a animal class So in animal class, I have created a object called as a name. So this is coming from the animal class to the dog class. So in dog class, I have not created any local object as a name. So that's why it is coming from the parent class. So that's why I have used uh, super. I have created a breed here. So breed is coming from the same class. That's why I have used this. So this is going to be refer as a current object instance. So in my current object instance, it is going to be referring. It offers the constructor to differentiate between the classes, different parameters also it can be differentiated. So this is all about the constructors. So we having the constructor. So what is the difference between the constructor and method? So constructor is used to initialize the object state uh, when we are going to be creating the object. So method is to be explored the behavior of that object. So constructor must not have any return types. So method should containing any return type. If we have created a method, so here I have created a method as a display method. So that display method should consist of return type, void or int it should contain. So constructor invoke implicitly. So if I have not created the constructor, what the JVM do? The JVM will create it whenever I'm creating the object. So here I have created a person p equals to um, new person. So at that time only it is going to be calling. So for calling, I have not used with the object reference dot display. If I am using the constructor, suppose here I want to use this display method as a stub. If I have used this one as a static, so what I can do? Like static void. So here what is the error? You have to make this one also static. This one also static. You have to make it. Why? Because in the static method, it is going to be called only the static method. So in this display method, what you have to do? P dot dis directly you can call the display method. Okay. Without object reference, you can able to call the static method. But you have to call it. But here you are not calling anything. Whenever you are going to be creating the object at that time only, it is going to be calling. The Java compiler provide the default constructor if you have not have any constructor. So here, if we have not created the constructor, um JVM will create the constructors. And here we have to provide the if method if we have not called, it will give a compilation error. Constructor name and must class name should be the same. Here the method name may not be the same. Okay, so we having a copy constructors which we are not going to be used much. We can copy the constructors and we can call that constructor in the another class also. In the previous example, I have shown you the animal class. I have created a constructor and we are going to be using. So just a copy constructor, what it will do means it will take the existing objects as a copy. So here having a object, for example, in this animal class, I have created one object. For this animal class, I have created object. So that object I want to use in this dog class. I can use like that. So mostly we are not going to be use a copy constructor in testing purpose. So next, Next topic is abstraction. So what is abstraction? Basically, I told you in multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. Why multiple inheritance is not possible in Java? Because whenever we are uh, creating a class can have two or more childrens, but a class cannot have more than uh, more than one parent. So every class will have only single parent class. That's why multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. I can say that multiple inheritance is possible in two circumstances. In general also, if the child is adopted by the other parent, the child have the two parents. That is one circumstance. Or else, what I can use if I want to use my uncle property, my uncle is willing to give all his property to me, then I can use it. So here also, we can get multiple inheritance by using two things. One is the abstraction, another one is interfaces. What is abstraction? So abstraction is a keyword in the OHOOPS concept that is focusing on hiding the implementation's details, only showing the essential features. So what is happening inside? So suppose if I want to send a message to you, so how the message is going to process, you are least bothered about this. Only you bothered about, if I send a message, are you able to read that message or not? I am bothering about the things. Here also in the abstraction, how it is processing, it will hide all that one, and it will show only one thing. It will show whether you have received the message or not. So abstraction help us to simplify the complexity system by breaking them into smaller pieces, and whatever the smaller pieces is, that should be manageable. So it is doing the things in a smaller part. So here what it will do means, its simplicity, the abstraction. Why we need abstraction? So why we need abstraction means, first thing, simplicity. Simplicity, maintainable. So whatever we having, it should be a maintainable. Should be a maintainable. And another thing most important is reusability. Reusability it should have. So simplicity means it will allow us to reduce the complexity by focusing on essential operations. And maintainability means which we can used in the another class also. Reusable means where we can multiple times we can call that one. So what abstraction class will do? So when we having a, how to create a abstraction class, how to use. So if I want to create a abstraction class, basically how I am going to be creating a class. If you want to make it as a class as a public, you can make it as a class as a public class name ABC you are going to be creating. So here what we will do means, if we want to make a class as abstract means, we are going to be creating a keyword call as a abstract. So a keyword call as a i- um, abstract, we can have the both the abstract method. Whenever we are going to be creating a abstract method, so I want to create a abstract method. So abstract methods we can have both. We can have the abstract methods, we can have the non-abstract method in the abstract class. So uh, abstract method means which does not contain, which contain body, does not contain body. Abstract method, uh, non-abstract method means which we can call it as a constraint method also with body. So what is mean by with body without body means whenever I'm creating any method, basically here I have created a display method. So display method, what I have did, I have used open and closed braces. In this one, I have using the flower braces. I am writing something. System.out.println something I am returning and I am closing. This one is a whatever between this parenthesis is called as a body. This is a body. So whenever I'm creating a abstract method, how I'm going to creating? I want to create a method called as a mm, mm, public void add I want to create. So in this one, just I'm you opening and closing braces and semicolon I'm going to be using. So I'm not going to be using any parameters. So but here one thing a constructor cannot be abstract class cannot be initialized directly. You must have the subclass reference. So whenever you want to, you have created this one, this abstract method. So where you have to use this abstract method in the subclass, you can use it. So here the class that I have declared as abstraction is known as abstraction class. You can have the abstract and non-abstract method. So abstraction is a process of hiding and implementing the details and showing only functionalities. In other way, it will show the only the important uh, things to the user and hide the unwanted things. I can say that abstraction. So to achieve the multiple inheritance, we having two types. One is the interface, another one is abstraction. So we are going to be discussing about the abstraction. So whenever we are using the abstraction, it will support the multiple inheritance 0 to 100%. I can't say that 100% multiple inheritance is going to be supported by the abstraction. So if I have created a class as abstract, it means it is known as an abstract class. So here I having a class called as a abstract keyword. I have used as a bike. So here a bike method I can use as a bike run method. A run, I can create a number of methods. So here I have created another method. This one, which is an abstract method. This is non-abstract method or concentric method. I can call it. So we will see the program. So I will create one method as a vehicle. So in this one, I will create this one as an abstract class. I am going to be creating this class as abstract class. So which in this abstract class, I'm going to be creating a method as a abstract void start. This one is the start. For I will create another non-abstract method public it stop. Start and stopping the vehicle I'm going to be creating. So here in this non-abstract method, what I have to do, I have to print the statement. So system.out.println vehicle vehicle started or vehicle stop I can create. So I will different types of vehicles I can have. So in that one I want to create a car. So here I can create a one, or else I can create in the another class. I will create in the what I want to do. I want to use extend this one. Extend. So if you see here, here I have created a normal class method. So where I can override this public method. Just give me 1 minute. It will give that error. Sorry, I'm running this one. Save. See here, it is giving the error. So what error it is giving? Add unimplemented method, make this class as abstract. So I want to add unimplemented method. So what is unimplemented method? I'm having a start as an unimplemented method. So that start, what I want to do here in this one, I want to write this one. Mm, car is started. I want to write it. So what I will do means I will create another, or else if you want to create a main method, you can create a main method in this class also, or else if you want to create another class, I will create in the another class only. So here what I want to do, I want to create an object for the vehicle. V equals to new vehicle. See here, if I want to create a object for vehicle, what it is giving? It is giving the ambiguous error. Why? Because we can't able to create. So here I want to create for the car. Why I can't able to create it? Because I have declared a method. That method does not any body. So that's why I'm not able to create. So C equals to start, I can call it. C equals to stop, I can. C equals to stop, I can call it. So here, when in general terms, I can say that for the for multiple inheritance, we can't able to create the object. Why we can't able to create the object? In general terms, I want to say, uh, I'm getting the properties. My uncle having the property, but my uncle not assigned that properties to me, so I can't able to use it, that property. When he is assigned that property to me, then only I can able to use it. So here we are going to be using the properties when it was assigned, when its body was built in my class. So when I have override that one, so he has override his property to me, then only I can able to use this one. Okay, this is nothing but the abstract class. So in abstract class we can see more programs in upcoming classes. So next tomorrow we are going to be discussing about the interfaces. When we work with the interfaces, again we will discuss about the abstractions also. Thank you guys.